All right, so we're here. We're back on a Monday instead of a Tuesday, so I'm a little bit off my game. But let's do this. We're gonna go over the second clip that I wanted to show from the podcast that I went on. I think it was like July 24th or whatever. But it's basically his mentality, and I think that is something that every great person has that level of mentality, the way he is. So it's gonna be like a 3-minute clip. Let me see if I can share. I don't want to do that. There we go. Okay. First, let me know what's up with the audio. If you're hearing anything.
The belief that comes first.
I don't like.
Yeah, I hear. Oh, but since you guys still are here early in the video, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment, so we can do more content like this.
All right. Let me know if you're hearing it.
Go.
That'd be their first.
Yeah, but I think there are plenty of people that have had the same mentality, but that maybe their body didn't play into that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And it's like the Conor McGregor thing.
But
right?
you have to see something to believe first.
No, but if you heard Conor McGregor when he's like 18, 19, he's like knickers, right?
So Nick, when you were like 150 pounds, you looked like poop.
I was either shredded or big. I was never poop. I was never poop.
Really bad.
I've seen bodybuilding shows back in the day when you were poop.
Was that like a before and after?
But in all fairness, Nick did went from a good bodybuilder to a very elite bodybuilder in that short time.
Okay,
I know the poop one. It was the 2018 USA Fight show.
No, you motherfucker.
No, Nick, when you were younger and you weren't developed muscularly yet.
At what age?
Pick an age. Did you already know I'm going to be Mr. Olympia? Did you already think that?
No, the only time I started thinking that was when I did my first bodybuilding show.
That's what I'm saying. See, so Ben, I'm saying he had to see something before it clicked. It wasn't like it was there and then his body followed.
It's not necessarily that, because he's saying when he did his first bodybuilding show, so maybe he did the bodybuilding show, he's like, I love this, I want to be the best.
But he had to see some type of development for him to think, this is what I want.
I think in some instances with some people, yes. I don't think that's always the case.
So you think there are people that believe first before they do anything?
Yes, that's what we all just said.
Yeah. I believe that, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened with him.
No, but he's saying there are one-offs, is what he's saying.
I'm just saying it's not all, it's just a.
I think more people are like Nick. I don't think you believe something before you can see it. Right? You have to be able to see something if you're playing soccer, playing football.
What happens if you're not playing and you're watching? Like, I remember watching NFL growing up, like watching the Giants, being like, I want to be a fucking NFL player. Now I'm watching it, but I never did it.
No, I think wanting to do something and believing that you are going to do it is different. Right? Everybody wants to do something. This guy this guy's so certain of himself it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's different than wanting to do it.
It's just different mentality. That's all it is.
I understand that. What I'm asking is, what comes first? The appearance that, hey, wait a minute, I don't think
it's hard work for some people.
Okay, so there's 1 more minute off of it, so let me just get your take first. What they're arguing is basically what comes first. Is it the belief that you can do it, or you need to see something to believe it? So, like, I'm going to show you a picture of the way he looked like before he started. Oh, shit. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. So this is when he first began. Why does it look like that? Okay, that's when he first started. This is the way he looked like right here. Yeah, he didn't look great. And I mean, if you were to ask a coach at that level, like, what is his potential, they would probably say, well, it's not that high. But he has self-belief in himself, even though he didn't see the greatness that he could become. He still saw something, and he still went on. Now, it's not a bodybuilding topic. You probably ask the same question to Kobe Bryant. You're right. Like, do you believe that you were going to be great from the very beginning, even though you didn't know you were going to be 6'7"? Or to Michael Jordan, did those guys believe it ahead of time, or they had to see something until they started believing in themselves? That's basically the question.
I think there's another part to that question, but I'm going to the other part, and I'll circle back to that one. I feel like another part of that question is, like, what's more common? Is it more common for one of you a thought or the other? I think here's a good way of thinking about it, right? Do you think more people want to join the NBA, or do you think more people want to be the best basketball player of all time? I think that's what Ian was getting to, where it's like, well, probably more. No, I think that's the bald guy. What was his name?
Yeah, there's Ben. I mean Ben, the guy to his left.
You mean his right?
He's right. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
the main guy that was talking. It was I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben.
So the bald guy or whatever, Ben. And I think the point he was trying to make was that more people think like Nick than think like they like it. I for lack of a better term, the daydreamer, right? He's
Okay.
saying that. Well, I think more people want to go to the NBA than there is people that want to be the best basketball player of all time.
So you need to be somewhat delusional.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if
kinda.
you look at the probability of how many people go to the NBA, it's not really that high. I mean, you have to have a certain level of. You gotta be a little bit delusional and devote yourself to something that, let's be honest, it probably won't happen, right? I mean, if you ask like a middle schooler that you want to go to the NBA, the answer is yes, right? But he doesn't know how tall he's gonna be. He could be 5'7", he could be 6'9", and that matters a lot, right? But let's just say he's honed into like, I see something, I have the skill. Does he see that first? He's like, I know that I can do this, or is after he becomes 6'1", 6'9", and he's doing good in middle school, I mean in high school and college, he's like, oh, now I have true confidence in myself that I can do it. Because the way Nick is talking about, right? Nick is, let me just show you a picture of who Nick is. It's this guy. Hopefully this thing will share the fucking screen for once. There you go. This is Ben. This is Ian. Fuad. Let me go back. Okay, shit. Okay, this is Nick right here. Again, like I showed you, he was not that very good when he started. But when he became a pro, not only did he win the third largest show in bodybuilding, he won the second in his first year. Freaking freshman year. He knocked it out of the park. He became 5th in the world. A lot of people didn't believe in him. A lot of people, when you saw his potential, were like, I don't think you have it. But he thought, no, since I started bodybuilding, I knew I was going to be Mr. Olympia. I knew I was going to be the greatest. And some of them kind of call him delusional, like, oh, you're overconfident, even though he's being proven and left and right. But that's what they're talking about. Like, yeah, like, do you think it starts?
I think it starts.
And I'm using him as an example, right? Because that's what we're talking about. But it goes into
I'll go back to the basketball analogy, right? Because I believe what's going on with Nick is an anomaly. All
of them are.
But yeah, sure. But that's what I'm saying. So let's look at college basketball players, or let's look at high school basketball players. All of those players, if you ask any of those players, they're all going to say, I want to join the NBA, right? And there's gonna be rare points in someone's career where they're gonna do something that's crazy. Everyone's gonna do something that's crazy in the NBA eventually, right? But after you do something crazy, you don't go to your, like, I think it's less likely to pop up in your head and go, you know what, I might be the best player in the world. I'm gonna work on becoming the best player in the world. I think a lot of people work on improving themselves. But I feel like most people's goal isn't to be number one.
Okay, but did they believe it?
But they could be a number one?
Yeah. Nah, let's use the college basketball players. If you were to ask them, hey, do you want to go to the NBA? And they say, yes, that I want, because that's where what I kind of talked about is the difference between wanting and believing it.
Yeah.
Do you think they believed it? Like, at the heart of hearts, if you were to ask him, do you believe you can be in the NBA? Do you think the answer is going to be 100% yes? Because that's what Nick is. He's saying, I 100% believe. I believe from the very beginning that I started, I will be this. And I think that comes down to a lot of people.
No, I don't think that's what said about Nick. I think what happened. No, with Nick believes it. Okay, no, I'm not saying he doesn't believe it. I'm saying it sounded like what they were saying was that it wasn't until Nick went to his first bodybuilding event. From that moment, he thought he was gonna be the best.
That's what they're questioning. Nick is saying that no, from the very beginning, I knew I was gonna be the greatest. They're saying, when did it actually start? Did it actually start when you saw something, when you saw your potential? Like, I'm gonna go back to the college player, right? A college player goes and scores, 38 and 8. Does he start believing that he can actually go to the NBA when he does that, or before, right? When he's in middle school, when he's in high school, before he has that big game that is like, oh, I can actually do this? when does that confidence and believe in yourself start?
When you see something, when you see results. 100%.
Do you think there are people that are like, nah, I don't need to see. I know that I can do this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the struggle.
I do believe
do it.
I do believe there's people that do see it that way, but I think that's a less successful way of becoming successful in whatever you're endeavoring within.
But this is what we talked about. You have to be a little bit delusional.
I agree. There has to be a little bit of delusion. I agree. But there's a different. There's two types of delusion. Let's go for an example, right? Some would call one version of delusion arrogance.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they'll call both sides of it arrogant, actually. But if you have yet to prove yourself, that's a different level of arrogance than if you've proven yourself better than most.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And does delusion go in for both of those cases? Sure, it does go. It does work in for both of those cases. But on one side, the person that has not even tried something and says immediately before they even try the thing that they're going to become the best in the world or something along those lines, it's delusion. It's psychopathic, honestly.
But you need that. Do you think that I think that every like Kobe, Michael, LeBron, Nick, I mean, I don't know anything about the NFL, but I think that if you think about every great person, don't you think they have that little bit of psychopathic? Like, it makes no sense. You just have this belief for the sake of believing. You have no proof.
Sure. I mean, I would agree with that. I think with some people, I think with some of it becomes a dominance factor, right? I feel like some people just like the feeling of dominating other people, and to continue dominating, you have to become number one. So that could be a driving force for some people. But some of the greatest players of all time, let's go Michael, Kobe, Bron. Just an example, right? If you ask Michael if he thinks he's the best player of all time, he says, well, potentially from my era, but you can't take away all the eras before me or after me to actually say and stack up equally who's better. It's more to say I was probably one of the best players for my generation, but there's definitely players I place above me, right? You ask with Kobe, what's similar with Kobe? Kobe was chasing Michael's shadow.
Yeah.
And he was obsessed with an ideal that he saw within a single person. So regardless of whatever, his crystallization of the idea to become one of the greatest players of his generation was to watch someone else do something, to see something that's physically possible. And for LeBron, and this is where I think, I mean, I guess the analogy doesn't fit perfectly with him, but he believes that he's the best. And enough. Some people believe that he's the best, but when you ask a lot of the old heads, they're like, he's not the best. And one of the reasons that they feel like he's not the best is because he declared himself the best.
Do you think that he actually believes it, or he wants to be?
You don't have to declare something if you feel like you're the best. Michael never said he was the best.
But do you think that he actually? Do you think he wants to be the best, or do you think he actually believes he's the best?
I don't think he believes he's the best, but I think that's why he said it. I think that's why he said it.
Yeah. Because I think
that shadow he's trying to catch, and it's not gonna happen.
I mean, because I think that's what everyone that wants to do anything sometimes is lacking. Is like we all want to do something, but I mean, I can hear your whole kitchen apparently. But
yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. I'm just no, but I'm just gonna say that I think that's what most people are lacking. Like we all want to do something, but I think we lack the self-belief. And I'm just gonna bring it up to us. Like, do you believe, right? Before we started the podcast, did you actually believe that this could be something great? Like on your heart of hearts?
Yeah, I did.
Your heart of hearts. If fucking God pulls up to you with a fucking Glock and was like, God, it was like, Sam, look, I'm gonna ask you a question. If you lie to me, I'm gonna shoot you. Do you actually believe that we're gonna make it, or it's just a want?
Well, so I'll break it down like this, right?
Oh, you're gonna get shot. See, there you're going shot.
I'm breaking down this. Well, I answered already, but I'll continue.
He'll be like, nah.
So, with our situation in this podcast and whatnot, I thought that we would make a great podcast duo, me and you, because when we would work together at both the places we work together at, whenever we talk to each other, we would always bring a crowd around us to have the same conversation that we're having, right? And me and you were having some crazy ass conversations where like, whoa, I never thought about this, and then, you know, we changed the neurochemistry within each other's brains, right? And other people that we met around the time. So I figured, well, if people are interested in this much, this can actually be something. I think this we can make this work. I think that both of us as individuals are pretty talented at speaking, and then I think we put us both together and we bounce off each other well. Maybe not as well as we used to in the beginning, but there is the factor of we don't see each other as often as we used to at the time. Right now it's become more of a it doesn't matter. But do I think and do I believe that we can make it? Hell yeah. I mean, I thought we can. As soon as I thought we had 30 subs, I was like, bro, if you can make 30 people really rock with what you're saying, and they're consistently on top of everything, then you can do anything. There's nothing from that to 100. There's nothing from that 100 to the next 1,000. There's nothing from that next 1,000 to the next 500,000. It's always been about hitting these milestones, right? For me,
yeah.
Anyway, right now we're at 82 subs, right? If you would have talked to us 2 years ago or a year or two ago, when we weren't really like on top of it as we are now, me and you were probably looking at it like, wow, bro, well, this is not growing at all, right? But now it's constantly growing, and yeah. So
your belief started before anything happens.
Yeah.
Before the podcast.
But I had evidence to support my views. The evidence to support my views was the conversations that me and you were having already, and how it was drawing people that worked with us in to continue talking about certain topics with us.
You think that makes us a little bit delusional? Because even making it on YouTube, even a podcast is, I mean,
doing a podcast on YouTube is like acting for the slowest growth rate you can.
Yeah.
But if we want to grow this, we would fucking play video games and then throw our voices on top of the video games, and it'll pop like that.
We would just fucking make videos about like shitting on women half the time.
That too. We could. We some of our most successful videos has been us just talking about celebrities, right? But some of our most consistent videos has been me and you just kicking the shit with each other. Yeah.
All right. No, because I was just thinking about when they had the topic, because they always have this conversation with him, and like he's that set. Like if you were to ask him straight to his face, hey, when you were a kid and you started working out, do you believe you're gonna be Mr. Olympia? He will look you in the eye and be like, yeah, 100%. And like his friends don't believe him sometimes, and I'm like, it's a little bit hard to believe when you meet somebody that actually did it, and you're like, damn, like he's believed he had the ultimate confidence. But I think that ultimate confidence, can be seen as delusional, right? Because not a lot of people make it in bodybuilding, not a lot of people make it in NBA, not a lot of people make it in anything, right? So there's a little bit of the delusional aspect. There's also the fact that people saw him as arrogant or overconfident, and then he just started winning the biggest shows, and it was just and a lot of people were shocked. So I just wanted to bring attention to the man himself, Nick the Man Walker, and I'll try to get more conversation like this so we can talk a little bit more. It was
nice. That was pretty cool.
Nice 20-minute video. It's actually longer than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
A little bit shorter. All right. Let me see.
Peace out, guys. Next topic.